Hello and welcome to this the first webinar about sustainable energy technology. My name is Hidde Zijlstra and I'm a student at the University of Twente. I'm just interested in all of the study programs that we have, and I'll be hosting this webinar for the upcoming 30 minutes. Now, in this show, we will discuss quite a lot of matters that are perhaps interesting to you. But if there are things that are still unclear, you can ask all of your questions through the Q&A at the end of this episode. Now, it's pretty fun to mention. We have quite a lot of international students watching, from all the way from Mexico to Nigeria, all around the world. But now, let's move on to our first guest. He is the Educational Program Director of the Master Program Sustainable Energy Technology, Jim Kok. Hello, welcome.
Good afternoon.
Hello.
Hidde.
So, who are you and what is it that you do for the Master Program?
Well, my name is Jim Kok, like you said, and I am the Educational Program Director for the Master of Sustainable Energy Technology. And in that responsibility, I coordinate and I manage all the activities in the Master Program.
So you're like the big boss of the study program.
Well, I try to be in the lead and to provide services to the students to make sure that they have a high quality education.
And then you also have a very technical background, I believe.
That's right. I have a master degree in mechanical engineering, and subsequently I did a PhD in two-phase flow. So I'm very much involved in engineering. I'm an engineer at heart.
And how does that correspond to the study program of sustainable energy technology then? You're a diehard technician, but is the master program also so technical and focused on one thing?
Well, that's a good point that you're making here, because what we see, of course, is we have a big issue climate-wise. We need to do something about our carbon dioxide emission, about our use of fossil fuel sources. And we do have already the technology, not entirely, but a good part of the technology is there. But there are big difficulties in order to implement that technology. We need to make the step of the developed technology into implementation into society. And that means we will need more than technology by itself.
Yeah.
We need to have applicability. We also need to look at economics. We need to look at societal effects. And these are all elements that are part of our program in the Master of SET.
Yeah. So how does that reflect to the curriculum then?
Well, it is a very multidisciplinary approach. So that means we have 4 themes that we cover in our first year. We have a theme on energy sources. We have a theme on technology and sustainability. We have a theme on socioeconomics. And we have a theme on design and system integration. And those 4 themes help you to follow that path over the implementation and bring the technology into development into our society.
Yeah. So that sounds really multidisciplinary. And you already gave a quick view about it. Why would you study this program in a few lines? Why is it so important to do this specific master program?
Well, it is important because you need to have the combination of all these aspects I just mentioned in order to be able to use the technology. We have too many examples of technology that was very well developed, but that has never made it into the larger audience because of the difficulties related to economics or to society.
Yeah.
And we need people that are knowledgeable both on technology but also on the other aspects. And also you need to be able to talk to experts in different fields. So that means you need to have a very multidisciplinary education.
Okay, but that sounds really wonderful. But then translating that to the type of students, so the people that are watching, how would you describe the students that are doing this program? Are they entrepreneurial? Are they very specialized? Who are they?
Well, one of the attractive parts of the program is that there's a huge diversity in the students, but we are trying to bring them all together at the same level. So we have people, of course, of different nationalities, of different cultures, because it's a global problem that we're talking about, but also people with different bachelors. We have people with a bachelor in mechanical engineering, chemical engineering, electrical engineering, and there are many other bachelors that are suitable to do this master. And we are all educating them in the fields that are necessary for the master.
Yeah. Okay. And you already gave a quick mention of internationality of the program. How many students are international? Because I can imagine you're from abroad, you're going to the Netherlands. Are you the only one? Or are there more people from perhaps the region that you're from?
Well, about 1/3 of the students are students that have done their bachelor degree here at this university. And then there is about 1/6 of the students that have done their bachelor elsewhere in the Netherlands. And we have about 50% of the students that are originating from different parts of the world, like India, like China, like Latin America, and also from Africa.
Oh, wow. Well, it's a really international program, just like the people that are watching right now.
Exactly.
Wow, great.
Right.
Now, we discussed the first year curriculum. And I believe that in the second year, you can specialize for things, right?
That is correct. In the second year, we have 15 credits. That's 25% of the total credits of a year. So they have 15 credits that they can choose to specialize in their curriculum. Because I should mention that the first year curriculum is a fixed curriculum,
Mm-hmm.
right? We have devised a very streamlined program in which all those 4 themes are addressed. And not theme by theme, but we made a nice combination for every
Yeah.
quartile. So, for example, in the first quartile, you will start with a course on energy conversion technology, but also a course on business models and a course on basics for process simulation.
Yeah.
And that continues in the second quartile with a course on electric power engineering and design, a course on biomass technology, and a course on thermodynamics and flow sheeting. And this continues through the third year.
Mm-hmm.
So we have chosen those courses that are most relevant to follow and that are also, let's say, a good combination by themselves. And that allows you to follow a very streamlined and very efficient program, which is very well to do in 1 year. Most of our students are on track after the end of the first year.
Yeah, which is
And
pretty special sometimes when you look at master programs because people can get all kinds of hiccups or lose their speed in studying. But for your study program, people are on track.
it is very important, certainly for international students, to stay on track.
Yeah.
And this is why we designed this program to make it very suitable for international students. But in the second year, this will be a much more individual program. And that means that you have to choose a subject that you would like to specialize in. And in order to support that subject, you are going to choose your specialization courses. And you can choose them from master courses that we offer here at this university, the University of Twente. But you can also choose from courses that are given at the University of Delft or the University of Eindhoven or University of Wageningen, because this is what I call a 4TU master. That's a very special master. That means you are also enrolled in Delft and Eindhoven.
Yeah.
And at no additional cost, you can follow courses there. And sometimes you need to travel there, but not always, because in the framework of 4TU and sustainable energy technology, we have developed together with Delft and Eindhoven a number of online courses that you can take at any moment online in the 4TU framework.
And we actually have a student that did this and made a video about this to, give a little bit more information. Thank you very much for your quick introduction in what the Master Program of Sustainable Energy Technology is. I really think people are now interested in the program. If you want to know more about the 4TU, so the 4 Technical Universities Master Program, you can watch the next video.
Yeah, thank you, Hire. Hello and welcome to all of you guys. It's very nice to have you here on the SET program. I appreciate your interest, and it's definitely a need for more sustainable energy technology engineers all around the world. My name is Alberto. I come from Veracruz, Mexico, and I would like to tell you some more of the opportunities that you may have as part of the University of Twente. You may or may not have heard already about the 40U program, in which you are now allowed, after your first years of courses in Twente, to take part into the programs or make your specialization in any other of the universities or technical universities in the Netherlands. That allows you to, well, not only know any other places, but probably make your specialization more, well, specific, right? That way you will pick your subjects depending on your best interests and be able to take them in another city or in another university. Myself, I'm currently at TU Delft, and I'm doing some more courses in smart grids and electricity networks. Of course, the importance of this course relies the most in you being able, or you being presented with much more opportunities than any one single place or one single course. By this way, in this program, the 40U, you have a broader scope into the alternatives for making your courses more suitable for what your actually interests are. Nonetheless, you gotta take something into account. You gotta be very attentive since the beginning to make your own path into this course. That means that to be self-aware into what it is that you like the most and where is it in any of the programs that, or any other universities that you can actually perform better and get more in depth for whatever suits you most. That means that you better be very proactive. Since the day one, you should look into the courses, speak with the professors, become more aware not only about energy topic related, but what is going on in the Netherlands and what's going on in the other universities for you to make the best pick of them all. With that said, I encourage you guys to come over. Don't hesitate on reaching me out. I will be right there on the question forum for answering any questions you may have around all these alternatives.
Welcome back. I really hope that the previous video gave a good picture of what the collaboration with the 4 technical universities is. But not hang too long about this part and move on to our second guest. Marco, welcome. You are the track coordinator of sustainable energy technology.
Yes.
Could you explain a little bit more about that?
Oh yes, thank you, Hidde, for allowing me the time to be here and to explain a little bit about it. Being the track coordinator means that I help students in the second year making the right choices for the courses that they will have to follow, the internship that they have to choose, and the master assignment that they will have to do.
Okay, so you do quite a lot of important things for the students.
Yes, I help them on the content and on the process, and not necessarily I am not the one approving the decisions. I'm the one assisting them in making the right decisions and also showing them the administrative work, where it is and how to do it. But I'm not the one making the final call.
Okay, so really supportive in the whole process.
Exactly.
Now, what kind of situations are you actually faced with?
There are actually basically 3 types of students that come to me with questions. The first type of students is the one that exactly knows what they want to do. They have it all planned out, but they need to connect with the right courses and the right internships or master assignments, and I assist them with that. The second batch of students, they are actually the opposite. They have no clue. They have a general idea of where they want to be, but it's not concrete. It's very abstract. And I help them making it concrete by going from what is your goal, what do you need to do to reach that goal, where can you do it, and in what time frame do you do that. And the third batch of students is they have a huge workload. They have actually sometimes too much on their plate, and they need help assistance in prioritizing it. So I help them in finding what is urgent, what is important, what can you do now, what can you save for later, and what can you not do at all? So what can you skip?
Yeah. Okay, so it doesn't matter what kind of student you are, you're always here to help.
Yes.
I think that's good to know for the people that are watching. So, but then how do you monitor these students? How does it start?
We have I track all the students. So together with the team of SET, we track all the students, and we have a regular conversation about how they are doing. So to to warn them when they're going astray, or to help them in making the choices when the choices need to be made. For instance, at the end of the first year, the students should be getting prepared for the second year. So I send them a reminder email. Hey, it's now the end of your first year. You should be setting up things for the second year. How are you doing? And do you need any assistance?
Yeah. Okay. Well, that's really good to know that you're watching out for the students and,
Yes.
and helping them with that. Now, moving on to that second year, at some moment you will choose a research matter. What kind of assignments do people actually do? What is it about?
Well, the assignments that the students take up are very, very diverse. It reflects basically the four pillars of the set studies. For instance, there is a student who was studying the effectiveness of additive layers, additive manufacturing of layers on solar panels to make them more efficient.
Okay,
which is
complex.
which is very physical in nature. There was another student who was studying for a residential area for a big energy company, how to make this residential area more green, what possibilities there are to make the houses greener, for instance, double glass, solar panels, heat pumps, etc. Compiling and comparing the cost of each solution, and then investigating how much a consumer would be willing to pay for these improvements, so the cost-benefit analysis for them as well. And that went less into the hardcore technology, because it was more of compiling of boxes, but was more wide in its subject and was also more connected to the psychology, to cost-benefit analysis, etc.
Wow, so there's really multidisciplinary, different kinds of subjects.
Exactly, yes.
Also part of the program is that you can do an internship.
Yes.
Do you also have a role in people finding an internship?
Yes. Well, together with the other people of SET, due to my background, I have a relatively large network of energy companies and sustainable energy companies in the Netherlands. Students can usually work in several categories of companies that are present in the Netherlands. The first ones are big companies that have been, for instance, in gray energy and want to turn green, or are busy turning towards green energy, and they need students to assist them in that. The second kind of companies are green startups, which are still in the startup phase, or already mature companies such as solar companies, wind turbine companies, etc. And they have research for that. And there are also a relatively large number of research institutes in the Netherlands, which have all been commercialized in the recent past. And they are heavily investigating green technology for the Dutch government and also for the larger companies. So there are several ways that students can get engaged in internships and master assignments into green energy and sustainable energy technology in the Netherlands. And I'm happy to say that one of the things that I experience is that very little students have trouble finding an internship and finding a master's assignment. So even with the current COVID crisis, I'm happy to say that there is still enough room for students to work at companies in sustainable energy technology.
Wow. Well, that's great to hear. And that also concludes this part. Thank you very much for giving this quick explanation about what it is that you do and what guidance you can provide to the people that are watching.
Thank you.
We now have a video about what it's like to find an internship, what it's like to do an internship by one of our students, Marjorie.
Thank you, Hide and Marco. I would like to share my experience. I am Marjorie. I am currently studying the second year of the SET program. I am doing my internship in IM efficiency in Heerlen. So first, let me tell you how I arrived to the program. I did an exchange year in University of Twente 2 years ago, and there I had the opportunity to take 3 different courses from the SET program. And since there, I knew I wanted to do this master's. So I came back, I started the master's, and now I'm here. So what am I doing right now in the internship? This is a startup company that puts solar panels on top of trucks, of long distance transportation trucks, to reduce the fuel consumption and to make them more sustainable. And the ultimate goal of the vision of this small startup company is to one day be able to power all the long distance transportation with solar energy. So how did I get this internship? Well, this is something that I really like about the program, that you make really nice connections, and that everyone, all the professors, very highly experienced professors, are always there to help you. And in my case, I contacted Marco and several other professors, including Arne van Garel and Jill Reindeers, who has helped me a lot. And by speaking to them, I decided to choose my path, which I think it's now solar, and I think it will end up being solar. But yeah, they were really helpful, and Jill helped me to get the internship, and hopefully I can do my thesis once I finish here in Heerlen in around 3 months. Hopefully I can start my thesis also in her group in solar energy. Thank you very much, and I really encourage you to join the SET program.
Thank you, Marjorie. I really hope that this has explained to our viewers what it's like to do an internship here in the Netherlands. Now, what's really important to mention is that you can always ask for help. So if you run into any difficulties, there's enough guidance possible, so make sure that you make use of it, because we're a really student-driven university and your input matters. Now, let's move on to something that's very important as well, what you can do after you graduate, because that's, of course, the reason why you do a program. We asked one of our alumni, Manuel, to tell you a little bit more about this, so watch that video now.
Hello everyone, my name is Manuel Alcântara. I'm from Brazil. I have a background in electrical engineering. And one of the main points that really helped me to decide to start this master course, it was that the first year of this master is really fixed, and you can have like a tryout of all the possibilities within the renewable source. So you can have a tryout of wind, solar, biomass, energy storage. And you can also know a little bit more the facilities, the professors, research group, all the possibilities that you have inside the university. So this can really build the knowledge that you need to decide which path do you want to follow, which specialization you want to really pursue. So this was really good, and yeah, enjoy this first year to really understand yourself and the possibilities inside the university. I finished my master in 2019, so last year, and I could find a job within like 2 months almost. So yes, there's a market for internationals here, even though it's really good if you can already talk a little bit of Dutch, but if you can't, even though there's a possibility, so yeah, it's really good to know that in advance. If I could give some tips, if you don't know the market, if you are just starting your professional life right now, there's some possibilities here in the Netherlands. So they have some agencies that can really understand your profile, understand what you want, and try to find a company that could fit these needs. So they could really help you to find a place that you really want to be and a place that you really want to work and grow. So yeah, if you don't know exactly the company that you want to start, go for agencies. They can really help you a lot to start your professional life here in the Netherlands. And another tip, actually, during the master, if you could already really use this first year to understand yourself, understand the courses, the facilities, everything, and try to decide already what you want to follow in the first year, will really save you a lot of time in the second year. So you can already start to understand the research group, the professors, the facilities, everything you can already decide in the first year. So you can save time and actually enjoy your second year, and could make like a really good thesis, and even find already a company with like an internship inside a good company, and maybe can be hired afterwards. So these are the main tips that I could give to you. And I hope to see you here, and see you guys. Bye-bye.
Thank you, Manuel. It's really great to see what all of the opportunities are for an international student that has finished studying here at the university. And now I can imagine that you're really curious what you can do to study here. Well, there are a few admission requirements that you need to comply with. And that's why we asked the study advisor Monique to tell you a little bit more about that in the upcoming video.
Okay, hello everybody. I'm really delighted that you are demonstrating interest in our university. My name is Monique Duivenstein. I'm the study advisor of all the master students of our faculty, Engineering Technology. And I'm always there to help you with any question you have. You can find my email on the website of each of the Engineering Technology study programs. Concerning admission, all the requirements are on our website. English IELTS of at least 6.5 is required. And our admission board selects students from certain universities. We have a ranking. They are using a ranking which I don't exactly know. But for instance, from Mexico, we have a lot of Monterrey students. So I know that university you can be admitted. And also another important factor of admission is your average grade. That has to be at least 80%. That is a criterion of the admission board. In order to be successful, the profile of our successful Latin American students is taking initiative and deciding for yourself what you're going to do. It already starts with choosing the subjects you are going to take. It's not a fixed program in none of our master programs. It's you who are going to decide, but also about content. You're always free to ask teachers, but finally, especially in your thesis, you have to decide what you're going to do and why you are going to do it. Some personal note of myself, I've been living for 12 years, 14 years in Latin America. So if we meet live, we probably might be talking in Spanish. Hope to see you all next year in our university. Bye-bye.
Thank you, Monique. And this concludes the session for today. Now we'll follow the Q&A session where we'll discuss all of the questions that you have asked so far during this live stream. Now, make sure that you ask great questions because Marco and Jim will return magically where I'm sitting right now, as I will move away. And that means that I will sign off for today. Have a good one and hope to see you at the university later on.
Good evening, viewers. Welcome in our audience. I'm very happy that you took the time to watch our broadcast. And I hope this led to more interest in our program. But I can imagine that there will be more questions about the program. And Marco and I are happy to answer them. And we will be assisted in reading the questions by our member of the team, Yvette. She is in between Marco and myself here. So Yvette, maybe you can tell us the first question that was asked.
Sure. Hi, everyone. Before I start reading the questions, probably I can tell you a little bit more of myself. I'm part of the University of Twente. Myself, I'm also an alumna. I did here my master's degree, and now I'm happily working as well here in the University of Twente, presenting the programs to you, for instance. That's one of my roles. Thank you very much for being watching, and I think I'm going to proceed to reading the questions. As you probably hear already about the program, 40U, internships, Marco support, one of the questions that we received is like, how is the master assignment of the students monitored? So I believe probably this is a question that maybe Jim can help us to answer?
Yes, that's right. I'm very happy that this question has been asked because the master thesis assignment takes about half a year, and that's quite a long period where we are going to work in depth and more independently. But still, our program and I would like to support the students in the progress, and I would like to help if there is an issue. So we have a monitoring program. So at the start, you have to fill in a form for me where you're going to tell me, well, what are you going to do? What are your research questions? What is your research method? What are your objectives? what is your timeline that you have in mind for the assignment, and of course, who is going to be your thesis supervisor. And on basis of that information, we will keep track of your progress and make sure that you'll finish with a good result and also in time.
Great. Thank you very much for your answer. As now Jim mentioned, and now you know that for the second year of your SET program, you will be working closely with Marco and Jim to finalize your master's program. One of the questions that has been popping very often in the chat is regarding the CGPA, or the average score that you need to have to apply to the master's program. And that is like from your country, the 70%, it should be at least 70%. I see that in the questions they are asking if it can be less than that. And unfortunately, that is not the case. I think since we are a research university, and the level of mathematics and how do you say, exact science that you need to follow this course, having less than this average is not possible. I don't know if Marco or Jim would like to complete this answer.
Yes, I would like to do that because to us it's very important that if we admit you to the program, that we are fairly certain that you're able to finish the program and do it in time. And what we have seen is if we are going to loosen our condition for the CGPA, there is a risk that you might not be able to finish the program. And we would really be very sorry about that. So we are trying to avoid it. So that means if you're going to be admitted to the program on basis of the CGPA, it will mean that you have a very good chance to finish the program.
Okay, well, you hear it, guys. If you're still studying, please make some effort in putting up those grades. Okay, next question is like, when are the deadlines or the starting days? I can help you answering those questions. Luckily, this master program has 2 intakes, that is in February and in September as well. And please keep in mind that if you are starting in February next year, you should submit your application before 1st of October. So I think you're still on time. You are tight, but you are still on time. Nevertheless, if you want to be very on time and make sure that you comply with all the requirements, and then probably later you proceed to scholarships, applying for the next intake in September, that is also the safest option. And the deadline for September is the 1st of May. So I think you are very good on time if you would like to apply for next September. All right, let's go to the next question. The next question is that I think Marco already addressed it, but probably we can take it again to stage. Does it help, or is it required that students had field experience, working experience?
I think that's a good question for Marco.
Yes. The program is set up in such a way that if you have a relevant field experience, which will be tested and approved beforehand, you can choose to skip the internship and take 15 EC worth of extra courses instead. So you still have to do the same amount of credits, but you can switch 15 credits that you will normally get for an internship. You can switch it and do 15 EC of 15 credits of extra courses. However, this is a choice. So even if you have a bachelor degree and if you have working experience, you can still choose to do the internship if you want to have relevant working experience in the Netherlands, if you want to have a better taste of the Dutch culture, or other personal choices that you may have. So it's a choice that you have.
Okay, well, thank you very much, Marco. That is for the working experience. Now let's talk about a little bit about backgrounds, educational backgrounds. We have a question from Elizabeth. She's from Colombia and she has a degree in petroleum engineering. Can she also apply to the SET program?
Well, that's not a very easy question to answer. In principle, yes, because it is an engineering bachelor that she has done, but it depends very much on the level of the university and of the bachelor program that she has done. What I would advise is to look at our university website and do the eligibility check, the e-check. And that will tell her in a very short time, just 5 minutes, if she possibly can be admitted. And if the answer is yes, then she could go to full admission, and then our team will check every detail about her education and decide whether she can be admitted or not.
Okay. Well, as you hear it, I think I would like to elaborate a little bit more in the answers of Jim. After this webinar, you're going to receive an email with all quick links that you might need to start your application or to have more information. There is this link for the eligibility check or e-check, the one that Jim is talking about. So at the end, you will receive this link, and please proceed as Jim said. So then probably you can find more about it. We are also having questions about the scholarships. I think I can address this question. For international students, the university has like some funding to support the students, excellent students. There is a website that is called Scholarship Finder. You will receive also the link after this webinar where you can head and look for the scholarship regarding your country and the program that you would like to apply. And then you can filter with these characteristics, and you can see all the scholarships that are available. I can tell you now 2 examples. We have the University of Twente scholarship. There is a scholarship. We have 50 scholarships available, and we have 2 rounds to apply to this scholarship. The first round starts in October, so next month, and the second round starts in February. So I would say that if you would like to guarantee one of those scholarships, well, the wisest step is to start applying, and then because before applying to a scholarship, you need to be admitted. So yes, there's scholarships. And also for Mexican and Brazilian students, we have as well the OTS, and that application deadline is until the 1st of May. But as well as other scholarships, you need to be first admitted. For Mexican students, we have as well agreements with CONACYT and as well with FUNET. For Colombian students, we have agreements with Colfuturo. So there are several opportunities, and I think the list is long. So the best is that you just head to the Scholarship Finder page. Moving on, that's enough for the scholarships. Let's see. Okay, here's this question, and probably Marco and Jim are best to address it. What is the admission rate for students coming from sub-Saharan or underdeveloped countries?
The admission fee.
It says admission rate.
Yes.
Oh, okay. If she
the admission rate.
I think
Okay.
they mean the cost.
number of
admission rate.
Is that the number of students, or is that the cost?
Well,
That's one good question for Joel. I believe that he means like probably the admission number of students.
well, we have students from everywhere. We have students from Ethiopia, from Nigeria, etc. So Latin America.
Yeah.
I don't know the exact numbers because it's very diverse.
Exactly. And for the admission, yeah, he means number of students. He responded in the questions, but okay, just as mentioned, as Jim mentioned it during the webinar, 50% of the SET program is international students. So yes, you might not find, and probably not in this program, but in the university for sure. Let me read. The scholarship apply only for school tuition, or does it apply to living expenses in the Netherlands? This question's for Ms. Sarai Gonzalez. There's different types of scholarships. I think most of them apply for both tuition fee and cost of living. I think most of the scholarships, they don't restrict you just to one of you. I think it's up to you to decide how you manage that money. Let me see the other one. Is May the deadline for the local students or international students as well? Okay, that answer for Nandigam. I'm sorry that I cannot read well your names. 1st of May is for international students. For local students or nationals, like Dutch students, is 1st of June. There's another question. Alexa Becerra says, like, I'm about to graduate from energy engineering. Can I also apply?
Sounds like the right topic. But again, you have to do the e-check because it depends on the university that you have studied and also the course that you have taken.
Okay, so I think for everyone, best is just to go to the e-check and check what are your chances. Is it possible to enter your university for this program if I have a bachelor degree in civil engineering?
We also have students from civil engineering, and because they also have courses in fluid mechanics, for example. But again, it depends on the quality of the bachelor program, if we can admit you or not. So the topic is right, but we need to check the level.
All right. So now you hear it, guys. If you are in the engineering field, probably the short answer is that most likely you are admitted, but it depends on your courses and the quality of your studies and how related it is to the program. Let's move to the next question. Is it possible to have a side job or a student job? This is a really good one because next to scholarships, side jobs is one of the, well, I think most of us would think that we can come and also earn some money to pay our bills. I can tell you from experience, myself, I was also a student, and having a side job is nice to sharpen your skills into the international or Dutch market, but you should not count on it as an income to pay your tuition fees or your full cost of living. No, side jobs are, like I mentioned, just like to earn experience. And most of the time you can work up to 16 hours per week or 3 full months during summer. You just need to check that when you are working in the Netherlands as a student, you need a work permit. You need to have also full medical insurance. And nevertheless, of course, you need to contribute to the income taxes. Okay. What is important to mention about works is that after finishing your master, you can apply to the so-called zoekjaar. That is a visa that you can apply after finishing. It lasts 1 year, and that gives you the benefit as a European to find a job. So that is for the jobs. Let me see if there's more questions. How do you check the level of the bachelor program? Okay, for Joel, about how do you check the level of the bachelor program, I can tell you myself sometimes as I'm international recruiter, so sometimes we check with the admission office how do they check or how do they proceed to, you know, how do they say this bachelor is good or this university is good. And most of the time, this is not how do you say it, like concrete, but it's a rule of thumb. I will advise you to check what are the agreements that university has with other universities. And for instance, if your university has agreements with research universities, most likely is that you are in the right path. But otherwise, there might be some income, might be tricky, to check this good level of bachelor program. Okay, Camila is saying, if I did a master after my bachelor, will the CGPA of the master be considered, or is only the CGPA of my bachelor? Jim or Marco?
I think we will consider both, of course. Yeah. And I think the CGPA for the master will be leading because that's the most recent experience.
And the highest level.
And the highest level. And some people, you know, they also are becoming more mature in their studying with time. So we certainly take into account the master. And hopefully the master shows a better performance than the bachelor.
Yeah. Yes, indeed. Okay, I think we are wrapping up soon. I just see the question from Elizabeth. How much does it cost per year, the program? Well, you should consider that per year an engineering program costs around 16,000 euros. That's what you need to consider for tuition fees. All right, guys, I think we are over the time.
There's one last question from Atik, below the one from Elizabeth.
Let's see, let's take a look. Oh yeah, if I'm applying as a final year student, do I still need to have a CGPA 70% at the time of applying? Does Jim or Marco would like to address that one?
So the question is, if he is applying as a final year student, he or she, do I still need to have a CGPA 75% at the time of applying?
Yeah.
Well, I would say so.
Yes.
Because if you don't have it, then it's never going to be.
Yes.
Yes, indeed.
So we expect that you would need it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Okay, so I don't know if we have more questions. I don't see it. I think we actually addressed most of them. Thank you very much also, Alberto. He was in the chat and he addressed some of the questions about the scholarships. And I don't know if Jim and Marco would like to close this session with some additional comments.
Well, shall I go first and you end? Well, the thing that I would like to say is that the students that I encounter as a coordinator or the second year advisor is that the students who come here are passionate about sustainable energy technology in the several forms that are here, from the highly technological aspects towards the business and administration aspects. So if any of these things make you feel good about yourself and are things that you are passionate about, please consider it seriously, because I think that the value of this study and the value of the supervision that you can get, that is very high.
Okay, thank you, Marco. I'm very happy that you have been listening and viewing this webinar. I just want to tell you that we have a very nice group of students regularly here studying sustainable energy technology. It's a very global group of students. We have them from everywhere, and they're all very motivated to study and very keen to learn the several aspects of the technology and society and economics that you will need your future career being the developer of sustainable energy technology. And so I very much hope that you will join our university here and that you will submit your admission to us because we need more and more people to work on sustainable energy. So I very much hope to welcome you. Thank you for joining us. And if there are further questions, I think Yvette can tell you how to address them.
Yes, well, thank you very much, both of you, Jim and Marco, for facilitating this webinar for the international students. I think if you want to stay in touch, please, I will leave my email in the in the chat section, so you can email me any of your questions that you have. And I will stay in touch, close touch with Jim and Marco to make sure that you receive the right answer. And furthermore, we have, of course, the email study@utwente.nl, where you can also send your questions. And definitely there's the Skype meetings that you can book if you would like to talk with a student. So all those links you are going to receive it just right after this session is finished.